This is Quid Pro Roll, a fantasy narrative play where adventurers explore the brave new world of Varian and uncover the mysteries buried by time.
On the last episode, the three of you had found yourselves in the town of Marcia, in the nation of Myhone, during a festival known as the Festival of Stars. You had a wrestling adventure that ended in an ass clap of meteoric proportions, and then went to the Starfall viewing, which is the apex of the event. However, during that Starfall, there was a strange event where spikes shot up from the earth, chunks of earth rose, and there was a huge earthquake. You saw this enormous spectral entity. You felt its misery and its despair. And then you realized that the three of you were the only ones who saw it. We are now going to come to the aftermath of this event. The three of you stand on now solid ground, looking around at what was once the village town of Marcia. Any buildings that were not felled by the earthquake have been speared through. You can hear the cries of the wounded, and the decorations, which were once so festive and exciting, now lay as tattered litter all along the ground. You can see that many people are okay, but many are hurt. And the three of you, something sits at the back of each of your minds as you look at one another, that you all had that same experience with that strange specter.
Drolsna's blades are in his hand, in his hands, I should say, in an instant. And he looks at the two of them and he says, "Some hedge wizard must have botched a summoning. We're going to have to do something about this."
Oscar will kind of like regain his senses and turn to Drolsna. I don't think that was a hedge wizard. It's not important. We need to protect the people.
Well, yes. The quickest way to protect the people is to end the source of whatever that was. If that thing hits again, because hedge wizard or no, whoever tried to bring that thing into this world botched the job.
Oscar's going to kind of like stand a little bit straighter, kind of taking in what Drolsna's saying, and he'll kneel down and place his hand on the stone. And there's this sort of soft shimmer, almost like a heat haze around him, as he extends his mind deep into the earth, feeling the flow of magic, seeing where's this coming from, is this going to happen again, is there a source that's sort of like pulsing this out, or is it over? Is it past, like a wave?
As you reach down into the depths of the stone and earth, you feel nothing. The natural living stream of constant magic that courses through the earth continues unabated. You feel no natural or unnatural cause for what this could have been. But you are sure that it was not a natural event, but it also wasn't cast. No spell was connected to this.
A summoning of this magnitude would have disturbed the etheric flow for miles, if not leagues around. No spell cast this. I don't think that this was a mortal's hand.
Drolsna makes a quick sign of warding by brushing his thumb past his forehead, kissing it, and then holding it to his sternum, and says, "You're telling me that this is the work of some god?"
It's something that is not a person. That's all I can tell you. Maybe a god, maybe something else, but this is not the work of a wizard. And like I said...
That's all very well, but gods, wizards, who cares? We need to go and help these people.
Exactly. Are you in?
Let's go.
As you turn on your heel and head towards the mass of people, there are already people scurrying about, casting rudimentary healing spells and getting water and bandages and care. But there are some who have been injured a little bit beyond the capacity that you think the local people probably can deal with. You can see that there is a single older gentleman who everybody seems to be coalescing around. He wears this green hooded robe and carries a staff. His stature indicates that he's probably a gnome, and he seems to be directing groups of people around, at least everybody that is unwounded and has their wits about them.
Excuse me. We'd like to help.
Young man, I appreciate your assistance. What can you do?
I have medical knowledge and some magical ability.
Wonderful, wonderful. Go, and he's going to point his staff towards a group of people that are setting up a tent. Go help them. They're setting up the medical tent now.
Oscar will give a curt nod and rush over, but he'll kind of like turn on his heel and still kind of like walking backwards towards the tent. Don't stray too far. We need to talk about what we saw.
Drolsna stands alert in front of the gnome that is clearly guiding the operation, and you see him kind of like shape himself, like he stands up perfectly straight, shoulders down and back, and then his arms start to move and he stops himself. And then he goes, I could be of some assistance getting people out of places where they may be trapped. If you can direct me to any structures that appear to have been blocked off.
He's going to gesture towards the overall town that has just been leveled. Do what you can if you can find anyone.
Very well. And Drolsna gives a curt nod and then slips off into an alleyway.
Vera?
Vera is going to run off behind Drolsna and say, wait for me, I can help, I'm strong and I have a lot of energy.
I am so nervous and I need something to do with my hands.
Exactly.
Vera is approaching this with the same energy of when I go to a party and I desperately ask them to put me to work so I don't feel like I'm just milling around.
Hey, Vera, can you roll notice?
Ooh, I can, yeah. Is it +2?
Drolsna dips into an alleyway, down a couple of turns and behind crates. But with as well as you rolled, you keep managing to catch the edge of his cloak whipping around a corner, the bit of his boot as he turns, these kinds of things. After a minute or so of this, as he's quickly crossed a couple of narrow lanes and continued weaving through alleys like a man hunted, you realize he's actively trying to evade being detected, but clearly not well enough. Right as you're certain you'll catch up to him, you come around the corner of a set of crates, and where Drolsna should have been is an exceedingly large, fluffy, black dog with glowing orange eyes sitting there.
I believe the word you're looking for is floofy friend-shaped.
Vera is going to just stick out her hand in front of her and be like, whoa, whoa.
The large black dog raises one paw as if to shake.
Vera is going to tentatively step forward with her hand out and lean down. And if it doesn't look like this dog is being aggressive, she is going to accept this paw.
Listeners, I need you to understand what just happened on this call, because everybody on this call was visibly squeeing. Like, nobody made any sound, but there was a lot of visible facial squeeing the second that Josh is like, he offers his paw. Like, all of us were like, hooray, good boy. But Vera does clasp the paw of this enormous dog. Now the dog shall be able to help you in business dealings. He has learned to shake.
The dog shakes your hand momentarily and then drops nose to the ground and starts like sniffing with a lot of force. Like, it's not just a big dog, it's a big dog with a big nose and big lungs.
What are you huffing dirt?
Well, he's looking for signs of people in distress in nearby buildings.
Vera's gonna be like, all right, I'm not gonna question this. This is fine. Yeah, this is... He turned into a dog. Everyone does that.
I love Vera so much. So, as Asuka is going to help set up the medical tent and attend to the wounded, the two of you are going to travel and find several places where buildings have caved in and blocked the exit of the people within them. Fortunately, it doesn't seem like anybody's been hurt, but quite a few people have been trapped.
The dog, with his significant meaty paws, starts digging out around the rubble, trying to free up some of these doorways.
It's not going to take you long, especially with Vera's help, to free the people who just pour out into Vera's arms and thanking her profusely. You see one that is a mother and her two children who are they're covered in grit and dirt and dust, but they're alive, they're unharmed, and they begin gathering themselves and running to the gnome you saw earlier leading the town. If anything else, they're safe.
While we're doing this, Vera has taken out that bolt of fabric and has been ripping it into shreds and giving it to people, pouring water on it, giving it to people to wipe their faces down, tying up any injuries that they may have just to get them to the medical tents.
You see the little old woman who sold it to you look a little embarrassed for a moment, but she does thank you and takes a scrap and begins cleaning herself.
As anyone is emerging from these buildings, like if there's so much as a hand visible or someone peering through gaps and things like that, Drolsna slips away immediately.
I am assuming to de-puppify?
No, to find the next building with trapped people. I think after the first couple of locations where Drolsna slips off without, like, so much as Vera being able to, like, immediately follow, because I imagine Vera's focused on helping people first, and then finding Drolsna after. I think after the first couple of times, Drolsna slips away a bit so that he's not visible to the people coming out of the building, and then turns back and just gives one, like, puff of air out of the nose in that manner that both dogs and horses sometimes do, and then rambles off towards the next building just to kind of indicate a direction to Vera.
Between Asuka's aiding in the medical tent and the two of you helping find and unearth survivors, you work hours into the night, until the sun finally breaks over the horizon and everything is bathed in that cool golden light of dawn. The people who can be saved have been. And while there are some that are not out of the woods yet due to their injuries, it does appear that they at least have some aid. It's enough that the three of you are able to step away, and though exhausted, dirty, sweaty, and tired, you do have a moment to yourselves.
Asuka will have convened the three of them around probably that same fountain that he was at before. The little wishing fountain kind of tucked away in one little alleyway when he was cleaning his hands, now crushed beneath rubble, but still letting off sad little spurts of spring water. He will weave his hands very slowly and coax the water into a stronger burst, guiding it up floating into the air. And he'll use it to start washing himself down. I'll turn to Vera and kind of offer.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. And she's going to rip off a strip of fabric and offer it to you.
He will take it and use it to kind of like wet it up, wipe his brow. Help Vera and Drolsna kind of clean up here and there with the little watery magic, cleaning magic.
As the three of them are gathered by the fountain, Drolsna's still in massive dog form. Before Asuka can start kind of weaving the water up and out of the fountain, Drolsna's mouth opens and his tongue lolls out to the side, and just the absolute putrid stench of death fills the air.
I've been in the medical tent all night, and nothing smelled worse than that.
I'm trying very hard to be polite right now, but can you please close your mouth?
Drolsna's mouth snaps shut with a click, and then he jumps up over the side of the fountain into the water and just starts rolling around.
He is the dog version of Marlboro from Final Fantasy. Everyone has every status effect now. You've got blind, you've got silence, you've got darkness, you've got frog. I think blind and darkness are the same thing, so add poison to that.
We should talk about what we saw last night.
Drolsna hops out of the fountain and shakes off.
Did you have to do that on me? Kind of wiping the drops off.
Sits and cocks his head at the rest of the group, and then pads off towards an alleyway.
Well, that didn't mean go away.
Weird little creature.
Hello?
Drolsna in people form emerges back out from the alleyway a few moments later.
Oh, good. I was worried that I was actually just following around a random dog for a moment. I mean, a big dog, but a random one.
Drolsna gets kind of a look of consideration on his face as you're talking about how you thought you were just following a big black dog around all evening. Kind of shrugs to himself and goes, "No, it's just one of the things I can do." As he notices that the sun is starting to come up, he reaches into a pants pocket and pulls out an amulet on a gold chain with a sun emblem on the front of it and loops it around his neck. To the two of you, it might appear more like he's, redressing himself now that you're not rambling through crowds, keeping his valuables out of sight. I don't know. I'll let you gauge what you read into that.
You're a vampire.
Well, keep it down.
I'm sorry, you're a what?
We just spent the entire night saving these people. I think you're fine.
No, I actually don't think I am.
Wait, but are you really?
Vera was really into Twilight in her teens.
Drolsna is looking around and his mouth keeps making shapes like he's going to start talking, but he keeps not talking. And so it ends up looking almost like he's chewing on invisible food with his mouth open. And then finally, he just his shoulders fall and he kind of hangs his head a little bit. And he goes, "Yes, I am a vampire. However, I would appreciate it if we kept that quiet. Vampires are not kindly viewed in most places. Not without reason, but yes."
I mean, they may not be, but you just wandered around all night saving this town.
Yes.
I don't think that I could be scared of you, so.
Asuka's the kind of guy that tells people when they have a zit, isn't he?
Yes. Thank you for staying. I appreciate it.
Well, whatever caused this, be it man, god, wizard, or what have you, ideally, we should make sure it's not something that can happen anywhere, anytime, or else I don't know that I'll ever be able to sleep soundly again. And quite frankly, that's trouble enough as it is.
The manifestation, I'll call it, whatever it was, it didn't disturb the etheric flow. So whatever it is, it's not playing by the usual rules. This could happen anywhere, anytime. Sorry, I guess that doesn't really comfort.
Drolsna's eyes narrow and his brows knit together, just like such a withering look.
So let's... This is going to sound odd. Let's double check we all saw the same thing. Large.
Very.
Horns. Mm-hmm, yes.
Horns.
Yes.
Outer shell.
Yes, that was a weird one. That was odd. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Horns and outer shell.
Yeah.
Yes.
Honestly.
Like an evil turtle.
Gaping maw.
I don't like how you said that. Yeah.
But it's true.
I can't...
Gaping.
I cannot think of a better way to describe it than a gaping maw.
That's true. Yes.
We have words like this for a reason.
Oscar will pull out that same charcoal that he had for his little math in the ring. And he'll pull out a piece of vellum and he'll start kind of scribbling away at this. See if he can make like a proper picture.
So the thing that you end up drawing is roughly the shape of what you saw. But if it was drawn by a third grader out of crayon and had like angry eyebrows, I want you to imagine a third grader trying to draw Godzilla, and you're kind of on the track of what this probably looks like. Different shape, but that's the energy.
It was dark. Don't look at me like that.
I think Vera's gonna reach out for it. May I?
Be my guest. Here.
Thank you. All right, let's change this and move that over here. And then I think... There we are. All right. Is this it?
Oh my god, Vera over here flexing by drawing on someone else's art. Oh my god. The absolute audacity. The thing that is held up is sketched over the general shape that Oscar made, but is a lot closer to the approximate image you all remember seeing. Now, notably, because the thing that you saw was spectral, it was kind of more of a shape than anything else. You could see its eyes, you could see the gap where its mouth was, but you weren't able to see its actual form, as it were. So there are no details of whether it was scaly or fuzzy or feathered, but you're able to see the glowing eyes, the rough shape of the creature, and its big ol' mouth.
Drolsna looks at Oscar and goes, well, friend, I think you really did a good job of capturing the energy of the creature, and then indicates toward Vera, and I think you did an excellent job of reshaping that energy into form.
You don't have to be nice about it. That was bad. I did it very bad. Thank you for fixing it.
No, it was a brilliant start.
Thank you for fixing it.
Well, it helped me.
I won't lie. And Oscar kind of gets like a sort of pensive look. Rubs his, forefinger and thumb on his chin. I think we might be in a little over our heads with this.
Oh, I certainly am. I don't know anything about gods.
Well, if we're going to be seeking some kind of aid from higher powers than ourselves, then might I suggest we travel to Ilvarian High Command and report in precisely what we've found. Oh. Actually, I don't know if we should do that.
Because Ilveria's an ocean and 2 or 3 continents away?
Yeah, we could say that, sure.
That's very far away. And I don't know how effective Ilveria would be in dealing with this, especially considering that it affected my home. I don't know if they would have a vested interest in fixing that.
Well, I don't know if fixing is the right word. However, if this is something that could theoretically happen anywhere to anyone, then isn't that of everyone's interest?
Well, yes. Whatever this was, it was clearly magical in nature. I think that we should talk to a specialist. There's a professor here in Mahon, at the University of Mahon, that we could speak to. I have his book. Oscar will pull out a yellow leather-bound book titled On Metaphysics with Dr. Joaquin Esposito in big gold letters. And if you look closer, you can see that just above his name it says translated by, and then just above that there's the actual author, Aristes of Alunis, in extremely tiny font.
Vera's eyes go really big at the side of a book, and she kind of gets grabby fingers, but to her sides.
Drolsna very quickly notices the big words on the book and goes, all right, so when talking to this Joaquin person at the university, seems simple enough. Is this, do we know this person? Is this like a friendly chat or more of an interrogation? I just want to make sure I know how we're entering the situation.
I mean, I don't know him. I've just read his book. He's a professor, so I have to assume that he takes questions.
Very well. We shall attempt to get our questions answered. If we don't get them answered one way, Drolsna cracks his knuckles. We'll get them answered another.
As you are having this conversation, the gnomish man that's been leading the efforts begins to toddle up to you, his hand bracing his back and leaning a little bit more heavily on his staff. It's been a long night for the guy. And he's going to go, yes, you. The 3 of you. May I have your attention for just a moment?
Yes?
Drolsna stiffens back up into a military stance.
The 3 of you are travelers. Yes, you are such a great help for us. Do you happen to be adventurers?
Oscar nods like a dumbass. There's a lot of wiggling.
Vera also nods like a dumbass.
Drolsna seems to be thinking about it, giving it serious consideration.
So Drolsna's about to open his mouth and be like, no, not really. And the other 2 are like, uh-huh. He goes, oh, good. Might I ask a boon of you?
Drolsna's eyes are immediately narrow as he's looking at this gnomish figure. Like what?
Some of the injured are beyond our ability to heal. But there is a great doctor to the north in the town of Ravona. Could I get you to escort a small caravan of people there? Unfortunately, it's close enough to the desert that there is quite a risk.
Well, it wouldn't be my first time doing caravan work. Not to be greedy or anything, but I am in need of financial compensation, just kind of generally right now. Would it be possible to arrange some sort of payment for this trip?
If you're a vampire in my home, you might be entitled to financial compensation. Yes, of course. We wouldn't be asking you to do this for nothing. We don't have much money, and he looks over to the destroyed town. That's probably not going to change soon. But
Vera puts out an arm and says, No. I don't. Please.
Oh, you are.
We can't ask you for money. We can't. And she, gives sort of a pointed look to Drolsna. We will do this for you.
He's going to grasp Vera's hands in both of his. Thank you. Thank you so much. You're such a kind girl. Please, the three of you, be careful. We know that there have been talks lately of the bandit queen of the desert. She might strike if you're not careful.
Oh.
We will take every care.
May the gods guide you. Thank you. And he's going to immediately turn and walk off to start gathering the caravan together.
Oscar will kind of elbow Drolsna. Bandit queen of the desert. Sounds like a big bounty.
Vera's going to take out a very, very small purse of coins from her pouch and flip them over to Drolsna. I've got you.
It's quite nearly like you read my mind. Though I will say, as concerned as you are about the finances of this place, Marcia's a very important trading hub. This is one of the central points for Myhonian trade and travel.
Vera looks around and is like, Are you sure
Yes.
about that?
Yes. They have an incredible mining operation.
I don't...
That's not 5 miles that way. And Drolsna hooks his thumb over his shoulder.
Okay. They were just attacked, though.
Well, yes. What I'm saying is that the Myhonian government will see fit to make sure that things get back under operation quickly based on the sort of trade and function that comes out of this location. We don't have to worry about the financial well-being of this town. They'll be fine.
Okay, sure. But for now, we'll do this one pro bono.
Asuka, I can see it percolating in your head. If you are interested in rolling a lore check, I will not fight you.
Okay. I can do that. Oh no, I don't know anything about my own. I got a... Oh, damn. That's a -2 from that. +3. I got a +1. I have an average.
So, while this place looks like a fishing village, and you're pretty confident that you heard that it was a fishing village, this man seems very confident in what he's saying, and you're not so familiar with the area you're willing to challenge someone.
I mean, so, be that as it may, it's still going to take time to get the money here, get the resources here. And in the meantime, you know how natural disasters go. The people are going to raise prices. Some people may starve. Let's not take resources that we don't need.
Well, I suppose it will take time for communication to get out, and then for resources to come back. Yes, that does make some sense. Still, though, I was surprised not to see anything in the stalls. They must be exporting all of it right now.
Right, yes. Exporting all of it. Certainly. Anyway, since we're going to be together for a few days, at least, my name is Vera. Very nice to meet you. And she puts out a hand to shake each of their hands, one at a time.
Okay, I was about to say, like crossing them, or...
She just puts out one hand. Just the one. No, just the one hand, but directed separately.
Oscar will take it and shake and hold out his hand to his other hand to Drolsna, kind of crossing over the chest. I'm Oscar Volkart.
Drolsna takes Asuka's secondary offered hand, and then once Vera's hand is freed, takes her hand as well, and then, I am Drolsna de Piatra, Ilverian Commando.
The three of you have a moment, finally being introduced to the people that you've spent hours with. Beds are provided for you, though it's probably more accurate to call them cots. And you're allowed to sleep, though the light streaming in is not making it greatly easy. No one is up to travel until the next morning, when you can see that it doesn't appear that you're just escorting the wounded. It appears that you're escorting everyone that remains in the village. This is no longer a couple of people in the world's slowest oxen-pulled ambulance. You are escorting an entire town out of the ruins of their town.
I would like to see the contract we signed to do this. Oh,
If
no.
you recall, there was no contract. Vera said, "We got you." And the dude ran off immediately. No additional questions.
Asuka's like,
Verbal contract.
Asuka's sort of bent at the waist, kind of curled into himself, and turns over to Vera like, what the hell?
All right, I know, I understand, and looking down the line, seeing the amount of more able-bodied people, I probably also would have asked for a little bit of money. Yes, you're right.
Drolsna is looking immediately for the gnome that was leading things the night before.
It actually takes you a while, but you do notice that every time you go somewhere to find him, you can see the top of his staff kind of move away from where you are. He's trying to lose you in the crowd. But it's not long before you catch up with him. And he, looks up and oh, hello, young man.
I don't understand. How are you abandoning this highly lucrative mining town?
What?
Marcia, the town. All of your mining operations.
Marcia hasn't been a mining town in decades. We're a fishing town now. Well, it's probably more accurate to call us a village. Most of the miners left and went east.
At the mention of this hasn't been a mining town in decades, Drolsna is already a pale person. So the fact that he is somehow able to mouth slack-jawed become even more pale, his pupils contracting down to pinpricks as his whole personage sinks in on itself momentarily. And then he very, very dryly, he tries to form words, but they come out as and then finally he manages to collect himself enough to go, "Did you say decades?"
Yes. This hasn't been a mining village, and the mine dried up 40 years ago, 50 years ago.
Hold on, I need to formulate a specialized curse word, but I'm not remembering god names at the moment.
Sheedy.
Who do you need?
I
there is the Sheedy.
That's what I was gonna go looking for, but I need it's Isamor. Isamor's breath! What?
He kind of... I'm sorry, sir, that I was not mayor at the time.
How? No, that's not possible. That's not... You know what? Great. Let's Let's caravan away. We'll find somewhere else to be, since this place hasn't been a mining town in decades. Decades! Decades!
Decades! Yes!
Drolsta walks, turns 90 degrees and walks in a very, crisp, almost like a march. And just walks away.
90 or 180?
90. Just a left-hand turn and walks away.
You're just walking in a direction.
Yeah, pretty much.
After a moment to collect yourself, you rejoin your companions that you have signed on to this very noble and very stupid agreement.
You look paler, and I don't know how.
I cannot express to you how uninterested in I am of speaking on any of it right now. But thank you so much for your concern.
Okay.
Well, then I guess we should get back to taking care of these bustling exports.
Yes, let's do that. That sounds like a good time.
Are we getting into the slave trade? You can't export people.
No,
It was a joke. It was a joke. Please, no, God.
Oh, okay. No. Okay. You scared me.
With a couple of calls and cries from the townsfolk, the whole caravan begins to move north towards the next stop on your hopefully not incredibly terrifying journey filled with a lot of concerning revelations and monstrous fights and villains and this is just gonna be a casual trip, right? Nothing crazy is gonna happen. It's all gonna be fine. But you head north, skirting the Bahama Desert, and on the lookout for monsters, wild animals, and possibly most concerning, the rumored Bandit Queen.
Quid Pro Roll is an independent narrative play podcast supported by Richmond Comix and listeners like you. Our audio editing and sound design is provided by Scott Moore. Our soundtrack design is by Scott Moore and Gabriel Perez. Our GM and world builder is Alex Smith. Asuka is played by Luke Davis. Vera is played by Jenna Garrett. Drolsna is played by me, Josh Maltby. Links to our cast and crew's socials, as well as our Patreon page, can be found in our show notes. Thank you so much for listening all the way to the end. You're a real one, and we adore you.